You say you're tired, but you're not tired. You're undisciplined. Real exhaustion comes from effort. What you feel comes from inconsistency. You didn't fail because you tried too hard. You failed because you quit the moment it became uncomfortable. Let's be honest for a second. Nobody ruins their life overnight. They do it slowly, by choosing comfort over commitment, by choosing excuses over execution, by choosing short-term relief over long-term results. And then they wake up one day wondering where the time went. You don't need another sign. You don't need another motivational quote. You don't need someone to believe in you. You need discipline. Discipline when no one is watching. Discipline when motivation disappears. Discipline when your mind starts negotiating with weakness. Because success doesn't respond to emotions. It responds to habits. The world is full of talented people living average lives. Not because they lack ability, but because they lack consistency. You already know what to do. Wake up earlier. Stop wasting time. Build skills. Work harder than you feel like. Stay when it hurts. You know, you always knew, but knowing doesn't change your life. Action does. Every time you say tomorrow, you're voting for the same life. Every time you quit early, you reinforce the identity of someone who doesn't finish. And identities are powerful because you don't rise to your goals. You fall to your standards. You keep waiting for the perfect moment. More confidence, more clarity, more motivation. It's never coming. The right moment is when it's hard, when you're tired, when you'd rather stop. That's where character is built. Most people live in reaction mode. They react to feelings. They react to stress. They react to fear. Winners command. They command their mornings. They command their focus. They command their decisions. Because if you don't control your life, someone else will, and they won't care about your dreams. Stop asking for easy. Easy creates weak people. Everything valuable demands sacrifice, repetition, loneliness, delayed gratification. You weren't born to live on autopilot. You weren't born to survive. You were born to build something. But building requires pressure, and pressure exposes who you really are. When things get heavy, most people disappear. They slow down. They complain. They retreat. That's exactly why you don't. Pain is not the enemy. Comfort is. Pain sharpens. Comfort dulls. You don't grow by staying safe. You grow by staying committed. Let me tell you something most people won't. No one is coming to save you. No mentor. No opportunity. No lucky break. You save yourself by showing up every single day. Confidence is not something you wait for. It's something you earn. You earn it by keeping promises to yourself, by doing the work when it's boring, by pushing through when no one applauds. Respect doesn't come from talking. It comes from consistency. You want a different life? Then you need different standards, different mornings, different habits, different mindset. Stop asking how long it will take. Stop asking if it's worth it. Ask yourself this instead. How much longer can I afford to stay the same? Time doesn't slow down. Opportunities don't wait. And regret is heavier than discipline. 5 years from now, you'll either be grateful you didn't quit or haunted by the fact that you did. There is no neutral path. You either build momentum or decay. You either grow or fall behind. Every day you choose. And here's the truth that separates winners. They don't feel ready. They don't feel confident. They don't feel motivated. They move anyway. They train when they're tired. They work when they're uninspired. They stay focused when distractions are loud. That's not talent. That's discipline. And discipline is available to anyone willing to stop lying to themselves. You don't need to be extreme. You need to be consistent. One more rep, one more page, one more hour of focus. Small actions done daily beat intensity done occasionally. Stop romanticizing rest. Rest is earned. You rest after you build. You rest after you execute. You rest after you win. Until then, you work. This is your moment, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Decide now. Either you let your impulses control you, or you take control of your life. No more negotiating with weakness. No more waiting. No more half effort. Do the work every day without excuses, because the ones who don't stop are the ones who make it. And understand this clearly. Most people don't lose because they're incapable. They lose because they refuse to stay uncomfortable long enough. They quit in the middle. They stop when progress is invisible. They leave right before the breakthrough. And the worst part? They convince themselves it was logic. But quitting is never logic. It's fear wearing a reasonable disguise. Fear of effort. Fear of failure. Fear of finding out what you're actually capable of. Because if you give everything and still fall short, you lose your excuses. That's why half effort feels safe. It protects the ego. It keeps responsibility at a distance. But safety has a cost, and that cost is your potential. Nothing powerful is built in comfort. Comfort creates numbness. Pressure creates clarity. Under pressure, you find out who you really are, not who you talk about being, not who you plan to become, who you choose to be when there's no guarantee. You keep asking for certainty, for proof that it will work, for reassurance before you commit. But certainty only comes after action. Confidence follows execution, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel strong to lift the weight. You lift the weight to become strong. The same rule applies to life. You don't wait to feel ready to change. You change and readiness follows. Most people spend their lives preparing, consuming, watching others win. Preparation feels productive, but preparation without execution is just procrastination in disguise. At some point, learning more becomes avoidance. At some point, planning becomes fear. The moment you stop consuming and start building, everything shifts. Progress becomes personal. Pain becomes purposeful. Time becomes valuable. And yes, it will cost you. It will cost comfort. It will cost relationships that don't grow with you. It will cost habits that kept you small. Growth always demands separation. You cannot rise and stay surrounded by everything that pulls you down. You cannot build focus in an environment addicted to distraction. That's why discipline feels lonely. But loneliness is temporary. Regret is permanent. The strongest people are built in silence. No announcements, no validation, no applause, just repetition, just pressure, just commitment. You don't need to feel powerful. You need to act with precision. Power is built through consistency, through standards, through doing what you said you would do, especially when you don't feel like it. Your mind will fight you. It will look for shortcuts. It will offer comfort as a reward. Don't listen. Your mind is designed to keep you safe, not successful. Success requires overriding instinct, choosing long-term gain over short-term relief. This is where most people fail. But discipline is honesty. Discipline is truth in action. If you say you want more, your actions must match that demand. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.